What's going on, everyone? This is Matt Kowals from Sports Memo and Wager Talk, back with the Thursday Night Football breakdown. We are currently 4-2 on the season after the Eagles and Vikings Thursday Night Football matchup last week, and this week we are going to be focusing on the San Francisco 49ers at home against the New York Giants. Currently, that is a 10-point home spread for the San Francisco 49ers, a 42-point total, and in this spot, it is tough not to go with the San Francisco 49ers. Around 83% of the money is on San Francisco in this spot. But when you take a look at this New York Giants team without Saquon Barkley, there are not many statistics leading you to the New York Giants. And typically, I like to fade the public. I like to go with the underdog in these situations. And personally, this is not the ideal game to bet, same game parlay, anything along those lines. But we break down every Thursday night football matchup. And I know everyone likes a little action on those prime time matchups. But to hit you with some statistics, the New York Giants without Saquon Barkley have a 9-13 record and are averaging 17.77 points per game. You know, with how good the San Francisco 49ers have played on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball, it is really tough to go against that. You know, in week one, the New York Giants against the Dallas Cowboys gave up 8 sacks. And now they're going up against a defensive line that is potentially better than the Dallas Cowboys, or at least equal. You know, the San Francisco 49ers have been known for years for having one of the best defensive lines in all of football. And it's tough to see them just not dominating this game with guys like Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead coming off the edge, you know, Fred Warner maybe coming up with some blitzes, things like that. And without Saquon Barkley, you're putting in Matt Breida, most likely, who is just not nearly as talented as someone like Saquon Barkley. He's a longtime NFL veteran who he's good at catching passes out of the backfield, a little bit of everything, but they just don't have that explosive guy anymore, that guy who can, you know, hit that home run where you're just running a trap up the middle or anything along those lines. So for me, you know, typically when I see 83% on one team, I like to go the other way, but it's tough to do so. You know, this might be one of those games where you just run like an alternative line, same game parlay or something along those lines, beef it up a little bit. But for me, if I were to go anywhere, it would be the San Francisco 49ers minus 10 here. It's tough to go with a New York Giants team that has had difficulty scoring points against tough defenses and didn't look good against an absolutely brutal Arizona Cardinals team. You know, we saw that Arizona Cardinals team just shred them offensively, defensively in that first half. Yes, the Giants woke up and they started making some plays down the stretch, but against the San Francisco 49ers, you go down 14 points, it's over, okay? So for me, play number one, San Francisco 49ers minus 10. Moving on to our player prop, and it might not be one you expect because we're going to be rolling with Daniel Jones over 37.5 rushing yards. And, you know, Daniel Jones has hit this number in both matchups this season thus far. You know, in week one against the Dallas Cowboys, he put up 43 rushing yards. In week two against the Arizona Cardinals, he put up 59 rushing yards. And a lot of this just comes down to the fact that Daniel Jones is probably going to be running for his life the majority of the game. And if you go down double digits, what happens to a team? You get very pass happy, especially without Saquon Barkley. And you're going to have Matt Breida next to you as more of a pass catching back on top of that. So what do I think is going to happen? I think Daniel Jones is going to be forced to take on a lot of plays with his legs. You know, again, Nick Bosa coming off that edge, Eric Armstead coming up the middle, Fred Warner blitzing, whatever it may be. Daniel Jones is going to have to make a lot of plays with his legs. And if we saw, you know, what happened against the Dallas Cowboys, you know, they were down 40-0, and Daniel Jones was still in that game running that offense and still trying to pick up first downs with his leg. You know, the guy has a lot of pride out there, and he continues to fight till the end. And even if the San Francisco 49ers at some point put in their second unit, I can still see Daniel Jones trying to take off with his legs and make some plays. So for me, I like the look of this. For this team to even have a remote chance, Daniel Jones is going to have need to have a lot of yards on the ground. And even if, you know, this game's a blowout, I still think he's going to have to pick up first downs with his legs because this is just a team that doesn't have a ton of options other than Darren Waller. You know, they have Isaiah Hodgins, who made a couple nice plays against the Cardinals. You know, Darius Slayton, you know, he's made some plays in years past, made a couple plays this year, but it's different when you're going against a team like the San Francisco 49ers who have a pass rush that doesn't allow you to get down the field. You got to be really quick. So for me, play number 2, Daniel Jones over 37.5 rushing yards here. And lastly, we're going to go with our anytime touchdown score. And obviously, I have to go with the San Francisco 49ers side here because you kind of wonder if the New York Giants are going to score a touchdown at all. I mean, I'd imagine they get 1 or 2, but obviously you have far greater chance with this 49ers team. And, you take a look at Christian McCaffrey, where everyone and their mother is going to be taking a Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. And there's a reason he's minus 240. Yes, he's probably going to get in the game because he gets all that volume. He gets the red zone volume, stuff like that. But, other than Christian McCaffrey, this isn't the play, but maybe someone to take a look at would be Elijah Mitchell. Maybe they give the guy a little bone in the red zone area at some point, just to get him some extra carries. And if it's a blowout, or to get him some red zone work, I should say. And if it's a blowout, Elijah Mitchell might get a full quarter or something along those lines. But the guy that I'm actually looking at here is going to be George Kittle. All right. In 2022, George Kittle had the most touchdowns in his entire career. He had 11 touchdowns in 15 games. Now, through 2 games, he has 6 receptions for 49 yards. So a lot of fantasy owners are starting to hit that panic button. I'm not just yet, because Brock Purdy really did have a nice connection with George Kittle last year. Sometimes it just takes some guys a little bit more to get going. But, for a plus 185 price tag, what better chance to go against a weak New York Giants secondary, a team that is going to allow you some time in the pocket. It's going to allow Brock Purdy to run that play action with Christian McCaffrey, put the ball in his belly, pull it out, and then you got George Kittle coming around, maybe a little 3-yard touchdown, 4-yard touchdown, something along those lines. But I really do believe that Kyle Shanahan wants to get George Kittle going. And I don't go with the passing yard or the receiving yards of George Kittle here, just for the pure fact of, I don't know if this game is going to blow out. If this game does blow out and George Kittle doesn't get as much second half run, then he might not hit that receiving yard prop. But an anytime touchdown, there might be 4 or 5 opportunities. This San Francisco 49ers team could put up 28 points in the first half. They might go a little into the third quarter and put up maybe 35, something along those lines. Just kind of what I am seeing. It'd be wild if the San Francisco 49ers team didn't score at least 24 points here. So I think there's at least 3 touchdowns in this game. So you have more opportunity on that San Francisco 49ers side, plus 185 price tag. And again, I think Kyle Shanahan knows he needs to get his guy in Kittle going, wants to throw him a bone here, get him a touchdown in that red zone from his boy Brock Purdy. Play number 3 is going to be George Kittle, anytime touchdown, plus 185. And to recap everything for Thursday Night Football, we are going to have the San Francisco 49ers minus 10. We are going to have Daniel Jones over 37.5 yards rushing. And lastly, our anytime touchdown score is going to be George Kittle plus 185. And obviously, Chris McCaffrey's the easy pick, minus 240 there. Gets a ton of red zone looks, volume, everything like that. But if you want a little more bang for your buck, I think George Kittle is a great play. So those 3 are the plays to roll with today. As always, I am Matt Kowals from Sports Memo and Wager Talk. Check me out on X's and Bros Radio here in local Detroit, Michigan, all the way down to Toledo, all over the place. We're breaking down Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football all season long. But again, guys, I appreciate you checking out the video. I am Matt Kowals, and I am out. Peace out, y'all.